Hello everybody, welcome back to a brand new month and a brand new set of content. And this is the usual video I put out, which is how the side quest works. Got to be honest, there is a very standard month and standard kind of grind with this, but there are a few little surprises and things you really have to remember. I'll be doing an objective cheese guide thing, which is going to be out later on. And this video is just about kind of like explaining a few things, but also watching out for a few pitfalls. Some of those pitfalls can be in the shape and form of some of the side quest requirements, especially if you're Thronebreaker and upwards. You may be looking at things like the Legendary Bodybuilder, the set of quests that you get for it, which is defeat the final boss and show of strength week 1 side quest in one try on legendary difficulty. Now, when it says one try, that basically means you've got to get the one shot. So you're gonna, there's a lot of kind of like implications there, and it may not be advantageous to mix those up with other things. You may want to do it for a challenge, but it's up to you. What am I talking about mixing up with other things? Well, you can take in certain classes of champions in one team. So you might be fielding a team like we're going to do in a second, which is I'm going to field a team like this. It's all Mystic, and that is part of an objective. And that particular objective, as well as many other objectives, will require you to really think about the team you're creating. There are some other objectives to do as well, but I've got to be honest, I'll save that for another video to go in great detail. And some really easy things like simply ranking up Titania, leveling up Titania, using some of the various different types of Titanias in Arena in different kind of forms. So that's that one as well. One of the plus side to the side quest is buffs. I think the further you go in, like epic and legendary, you get the kind of global buffs right here, which is size small attackers gain non-stacking indefinite fury passive when the defender activates a special attack, increasing attack rating by 50%. The fury is removed, blah 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 blah. Attack combo falls to 0. In any case, that's that. There's going to be some easier paths to look at. I mean, look at this one here, like this rocket one. It's basically SP1 unblockable. Well, you quite commonly would rotate around Rocket's SP1 for that one. And then you're going up against a Thor Jane Foster, which is whenever this defender is inflicted with a debuff, it is immediately purified with masochism over time, which could be a little bit of a problem, but we still got enhanced SP1, so it's going to be unblockable. There's 3 fights, which again is very standard, but as well, I would always recommend reading the nodes for this. Yes, whilst you're in battle, you can press the pause button and check out the nodes, but when you're looking at some of the fight combinations and you have to use an all-class team, it's always important to read the nodes, because this is not too bad right here, especially if you keep Stark Enhanced Spidey to SP1. And I'm not saying this is going to be all the same for all of the weeks, but it's a case of like, think a little bit about what is going to be easier champions to go up against. Okay, Stark Enhanced Spidey. Again, masochism over time, but SP1 is more common thing, and especially if you've got a champion that's kind of like, I don't know, evade counter, then and like it's all Mystic, then you can at least make that decision. The same thing with this here. Looks like there's some easy kind of champions to fight off against, and then a Black Widow Deadly Origin, which is going to be the same. It is masochism over time, so at least you've got some options there. Also think about like interactions, like champions that maybe don't do debuffs and stuff like that, just to make things easier for yourself. Now, I've not completely and ideally set up the team the way that I wanted to. I should have brought in my Scarlet Witch Classic, which is a definite favourite of mine. But definitely with only having 3 champions to go up against, it means you can have at least 2 champions per enemy to kind of like pair and kind of like prepare on. So that's good, and I suppose with like an SP3 in a minute, I should be relatively fine, he says, providing, swipes go well, taps go well, and all the regular things that you would hope for a Marvel Contest of Champions. But do bear in mind, inputs do vary as to performance when you kind of play against, because you never know. I could get completely clapped, and that solo isn't going to be too kind of like in there. And I really would, obviously, as a lot of you know, it's important to get that solo, because you get your objective, especially if you're Thronebreaker and upwards, which for a moment I thought I was Thronebreaker, but I just remembered I'm Paragon. So that's hey, go me. Now, even though like looking back at my team, I'm like, okay, hang on a minute, like was that a wise, Richard, was that a wise idea? Kind of like not bringing in anything that's got great kind of mystic scope. And I'm not kind of like overly criticizing my my kind of choice of team, because hey, it's a team, but I kind of like almost think to myself, why did you bring doubles of Black Widow Black Widow Clairvoyant and also kind of doubles of Doctor Doom? And look, there's no kind of great shame in bringing doubles of Doctor Doom. It still works like either way, but look, anything can really happen with this, and I definitely want to make sure that my rank 4 Doctor Doom does the business on you know, getting that one shot against Rogue. Keep to SP1 and you should be absolutely fine with that. Wow, that's going to be the slowest move right there. Is that normal? That's going in real time. Did anybody just... Okay, that's weird. It just went, slowly move to the thing. If anybody else has got a slow move on their paths, let me know. I'm interested to find out if this is a thing, a new feature to go slow. Do bear in mind, if you feel that you aren't doing as much damage as maybe you would like, then you can go and throw on some boosts. Boosts are always kind of great. And just relax, I think it's probably the best thing. Like, I kind of like didn't relax kind of going into this fight, so I'm like, just make sure you win. Make sure you do the one shot, because then otherwise I'll have to kind of repeat it a few more times, and it's not always great. I could even kind of like opt to like other champions, other type of stagger champions. Maybe I'd like better Black Widow Clairvoyant on my team is normally kind of a better one for me when it comes to just kind of like a usage factor to it. And even there with like the shocks, I should have been a bit more kind of quicker, especially to rotate around certain things. But this should be fine. Just before everything expires, throw off the SB2, which should incinerate down to death. So there we go. That was good. That was the that was a one shot. I mean, it doesn't really kind of feel like an impressive one shot because I use a Dr. Doom at rank 4. But hey, you know, I can't complain. It's done. Like, there's no reason to complain. It's done. So that's that kind of like first one kind of gone through. And then because I've done it with that, the mystic side of things, I will have to go back with the mutant side of things. So we're just going to click into the objectives, which will show that one there, that objective. And it should have got me. There we go. So I got the legendary bodybuilder one. So that's part of my Thronebreaker and Upwards Paragon-ish one. So we claim that one, clear that off. And then we'll have the week 2 one that will pop up there. Then it's a case of going down to some of the other ones, which are difficulty specific. So I will need to do that one more time with where's the legendary one? I think I've just gone past it. There we go. So legendary, they do stack. Once you do the first one, you can then do the second one. So like an example, I will have to go back in to do the mutant one in a moment, but if I then go in, I can still kind of wait for the claim. Now, the shards issue looks like it's been fixed, by the way. That's good, so the crystal's been put up. But as I said, the thing about it is here. So you can do one. Once you've done the first one, you can then stack the second one and the mutant one. I mean, you don't have to, I would say, just claim it straight off. But the reason I was kind of holding back was because I wasn't sure if they were going to fix the crystal shards. And also I need this kind of active for a video that I'm recording a little bit later on with the cheese guide. Yeah, I think what I've done is I have covered this adequately for this particular side quest. It is a very straightforward type side quest, but as I say in my notes, by the way, check out the link in the description. It will take you to the Google Drive. The Google Drive has this particular spreadsheet on, and it has like another tab about how to cheese all the different types of objectives and solo events. But you know, it needs more explaining in another video. It is very straightforward. There's 4 difficulties, 4 weekly quests, 6 paths with 3 fights on, 1 energy per step. Each quest has a global buff granting advantages. We've just seen that. Which is, you know, for the small champions. There's loads of objectives that's on at the moment, but with them I give a warning, and the warning is think of your class team before you go in. Set yourself up well for the paths. As we said, and as you can see on the screen, it is so important to go, right, well, what is my Mystic team to take this stuff on? Do I have any counters for things? Don't just do what I did, which was have Black Widow Clairvoyant ×2 and Dr. Doom ×2. Think about other champions. Slow debuff with Sorcerer Supreme. Think about others, how they apply things like the stagger debuff. And even by just doing a particular, just kind of quick, you know, sorting, you can look at other champions that are able to go from fight to fight and do things like Mojo, Magic, and how she deals and shuts down a lot of power if champions are building power. Same with Dormammu. Dr. Voodoo's got regen, sustainability. You know, there's tons of champions that are helpful for different things and different situations. Dragomat, Tigra, even Purgatory. So yeah, think outside the box, think clearly, and I'm sure you'll make logical decisions when it comes to each week. And we'll be doing some kind of like coverage each week on these particular you know, side quests. So yeah, good luck in the grind, and I will see you in the next one. Check out some other content located on the screen. Look out for how to cheese the side quest and the objectives video coming very shortly. Cheers everybody, have a good one, bye bye.